fellas. How you doing?
How's it going, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. Just got up from my usual daily nap. It's a must.
I've napped. I've did a couple of midday naps since I left my day job, and I'm like, I can definitely see why this is a thing.
Yeah, I do it maybe 5 out of 7 days. Maybe it's my age, but I need it.
Man, I can never like wake back up after a nap. Like I'm just done for the rest of the day.
It's tough. It's tough. Actually, after this, I have to go to the gym. It's leg day, so I don't want to get up.
Man,
That's the benefit of being your own boss, right? Longtime
Yeah,
entrepreneur, do whatever
yeah,
you need.
yeah. I used to do it. I actually used to take naps at my chiropractor office when I had a partner.
Uh huh.
We both would go in the back and take naps from time to time. So that was always good too.
nice.
Well, I don't want to
So
cut
what you
that out of
guys
the
been
pod.
up to, man?
Well, I don't want to
I
cut
see.
that out of the podcast. Let's just roll from there.
Yeah, I'm gonna start recording. We got to get these gems.
All right, let's go. Let's go.
Well, Jeff, you're the newest minted menswear channel to hit 100,000.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
yeah. Thanks, man. It's pretty exciting. It seemed like such a far out there goal. A couple of years ago, I remember being excited about getting 50 subscribers. I thought I was the man when I had 50 subscribers. I was like, 50 people actually want to hear what the hell I got to say. This is amazing. So, I, the funny thing is, I kind of stopped paying attention to subscribers probably like 3, 4 months ago because I got bad to where I was almost OCD with it. So I just kind of stopped. I was like the social blade watcher,
Hmm.
but I kind of lost focus watching the number. So I said, let me just stop and kind of remind myself that each person is a person. That stop watching the number. So it kind
Yeah,
of caught me off guard because I had stopped watching probably since probably the top of the year. I had stopped watching.
Yeah,
So
that's one of the things that Gary Vee tends to come back to is like you can't be obsessed with making the money. You got to be obsessed with the process and the creation. And
exactly.
like that was a big change for me about 8 months ago. I was like, I'm just gonna like making videos and just let it all work out, and it definitely does.
Well, I think that's how most of us started was just liking videos. And it's funny that quote reminds me of a quote I have in the studio above my desk from that great philosopher Jay Z. He says, "Imitate the process, not the result."
Yeah,
So I
mm,
don't know where I don't know if that's an original, but he's my leading thought. He's my thought leader for the last 15, 20 years. So he always has good ones. So I try to remember that.
that's a really good one. Yeah. Well, so for anybody not familiar with Jeff, Stylogy on YouTube, on Instagram, we had him on. I was looking. It's like 18 months ago. It's been a while since we had you on, Jeff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Got
was
wow.
to got to
yeah,
meet you at Influential 2 years ago, um,
right.
and now you know keep you get 4 p.m. every day. Salute. And so, um,
Yeah.
do you want? Why don't you give a little bit of background from somebody who might not know your channel or have listened to the last episode?
Sure, sure, sure. So, like John said, it's called the Style G, and I started it March of 2017, mostly as an outlet because I've always really been into style. Style is not my day job or anything like that, but well, it's become now. Back then, it wasn't. Um, and I've always had people ask me style questions, friends, colleagues. I'm a chiropractor. That's my actual day job, and I'm the chiropractor that comes to work with a shirt and tie on all the time, and or maybe some Gucci loafers or something. I just always love to dress. It's always my form of self-expression because even though you might not be able to tell by the channel, I'm a bit of an introvert, suffer from some social anxiety. So even as a child and even as a teenager, one of the ways to express myself was always through style, whether having the latest jeans or the latest sneakers. And so I always found it a way to feel comfortable in any room I went into and kind of took the barrier down from some social anxiety that I suffered from. So one of the personal challenges was to say, how can I put myself out there to talk more, but do it in a way where I'm just talking to the camera and in a way kind of come out of my shell. So it was a kind of dual purpose of stepping out of my comfort zone and sharing some answers to the questions that a lot of guys always ask me. And also, probably the third reason too, anything I know about style is self-taught. From reading GQ magazine, from watching other guys. I'm one of the guys who didn't know how to tie a tie until I was 21. So I figured if someone like me who's into style as much as I am, but still didn't know a lot of the answers, I figured there was plenty of guys who also needed some of these answers. So that's where it started, and it was a way of self-expressing, also to share some information with other people, and we got started from there.
Hey, you talked about a few times, like when you're on a panel at Menfluential, how you kind of saw a void in the men's style YouTube community. You didn't see anybody who, you know, who walked and talked like you and had your swagger, and so was that part of the reason you wanted to get in there and kind of let people hear your voice?
Yeah, that had a big part in it too as well. I was, of course, a consumer of the YouTube style channels. You know, the usual three: Antonio, Aaron, and then later Jose. But mostly Aaron and Antonio. And although I did enjoy those guys' channels, and I still do, it didn't quite fit my eye. There was something that I wasn't getting, and I don't know necessarily if it was culturally or presentation wise, because Aaron, of course, is much more excitable and engaging personality, and Antonio to me came off as more professorial. You kind of see some of his military background, and I thought maybe I could fit somewhere in there. Of course, some representation. There was maybe a couple of other African Americans doing it, but none even on any type of larger scale. There's one gentleman that I still watch named Kevin Samuels, but he was more fragrance and style, leaning more towards fragrance. And it was like a lightning bulb moment to me. I was like, you're telling me there's hardly any black guys on the planet Earth that are doing this? I was like, I can do something that no one else is really doing. And there were a couple of personal challenges when I thought of starting a channel. One, I'm probably one of the older guys doing it. And I thought, who's going to want to listen to me? And so I had a best friend of mine who was encouraging me. And I think I told this story too at Menfluential. I was like, I don't know how they're going to listen to me. I'm older than this YouTube audience. You know, I have kids. My daughter watches YouTube all day. She doesn't listen to me. So if the YouTube audience want to listen to me. And he said, it's called YouTube. YouTube, be you. You've always been a popular guy. You know, people listen to you. People find you authoritative and confident in everything you talk about. So just be you and see what happens. So it was a confluence of a lot of those reasons that I got started. And also to be quite frank, I saw a business opportunity. I'm a serial entrepreneur. Being a chiropractor, you're just you're a businessman who happens to be a doctor. So I've dabbled in real estate. I've owned laundromats. I've done all kind of things. So I saw a couple of studies of how people were making six figures turning on the camera. And so before I got started, I studied a lot about SEO. I watched a lot of YouTube channels about how to grow a YouTube channel. So a lot of those things, I anticipated success because I prepared for it. I gave myself a 5-year plan. I knew this wasn't going to be just something I was going to dabble my toes in or stick my toes in. So I said, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to put all my energy into this. And this is something I usually don't share, but I'll share with you guys in the audience. A lot of things in life for me have come kind of easy for me. Like I'm someone who gives like B efforts in a lot of things. And a lot of times I've gotten A results. I've always been very well read. Academically, things came easy to me. So I don't think I've ever in my life put 100% effort into anything, except for liking clothes. So I said, Jeff, just for once in your life, put 100% effort into something, see what the results. And that's one of the reasons why I started doing a lot of content, because it was a challenge to myself. Push yourself. How successful can you be? Because I've been very successful in a lot of things in life, but it's a little bit of imposter syndrome. And you know, for people who aren't familiar with that, you're successful. People may see you as successful from outside, but there's something about just like, I'm not as good as people think I am. I'm not trying that hard. So it was one of the ways to combat that personality flaw is to say, push yourself as hard as you can, do something 100% once, and see what type of results you get. And that's why you get not as much daily content as I used to, but as a first year and a half, it was almost daily in a way to push myself. So that was one of the reasons why we started off doing daily content as a challenge and just to push myself to give 100% effort to something.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely went into it with a plan, which is, I'd say, not the approach that most people on YouTube take. Most people do kind of get into it and just dabble and see what happens. Would you say that now things are going exactly according to plan? Are you ahead of where you thought you'd be at this point?
Behind in a strange way, if that makes sense. Um, I expected growth, but I didn't expect it to be so many peaks and valleys. Like I was expecting like a kind of a straight trajectory up. So once I started, growing, I was like, okay, so I grew 10% this month. I'll go 10% next month, and 10, and maybe, but it doesn't go that way. It kind of goes 10% growth, and then next month you might go down 5%. This is part of the problem of social blade watching because it gives you the 30-day, month to month comparison. And once that number turns red, then you're like, oh, I'm not doing so well. And then, but I also gave myself viewer, subscriber goals and also view goals. I've far surpassed those, but I think sometimes some of not necessarily second guessing, but number watching comes from the rate of growth sometimes. And then, lately, since I passed 100,000, I don't know if it's a confirmation thing or psychological thing or algorithm thing. Now there's, shoo, I've never had this amount of growth. Like the hour before, John actually texted me and said, I'm watching you, you're about to go over 100,000. 10 minutes later after that, my numbers just start jumping up, right before I got to 100. And since then, so that's been, today is the 20, it's been 2 weeks exactly today. And I'm up like 100% the last 2 weeks. So I don't know, like I said, I don't know if it's people watch and say, oh, he has 100,000 now. They assume trust, confirmation of other people. But I don't know if that was your experience, Brock, once you hit 100, that it just started steadily climbing. But so to answer the question, long story long, it's yes and no. The growth is where it's been, and there's a few challenges with the growth as well. We can get into that if you want to too.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Okay, so part of the challenge, and I don't, some of it may be unique to me, but maybe not because most of us have day jobs. But some of the challenges for me are when to go fully full time. I'm not fully full time. I just work full time, 2 full-time jobs. So to kind of, I think I can make a lot of improvements and get to where I would like to be if I started hiring people because I still do everything myself. So kind of the challenges are when to let go of the day job, the traditional career. And I have a traditional career that's pretty hard to let go. And it's something that I've been doing since I've been a chiropractor since 2001. So we've gone on, it's 18 years and it's a career that I still owe Sally Mae money for and things of that nature. So there's a lot of reluctance to give it up. One, social status. I like to be called Dr. Morgan. That's kind of important to me. Friends and family, the questioning, and also I love my patients. So how do I walk away? I got into that to help people. One of the reasons why I do YouTube because I help people. So it's kind of there's a tug there. But although I still love being a chiropractor, my passion is now with the YouTube channel. So there's that challenge there. And also just knowing when to pull the cord and jump full time. It's a good problem to have, but when do you fully commit? And it's kind of like I said, that challenge of pushing myself personally to say, just go all in. Being a serial entrepreneur, I've taken a lot of risks. Some businesses failed, some have succeeded. It hasn't stopped me from continuing, but I don't know if it's an antiquated way of thinking. I still sometimes think of YouTube as is it a real business, quote unquote. It's still that. I'm in my 40s, so I have some I would call antiquated thinking about a YouTube being a career. I didn't know YouTube was a career until I saw Aaron on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
That's when I realized it was actually could be a career. I thought everybody just did it for fun. So
Yeah.
there's some challenges there. There are some things that I'm going to do in the next couple of months to further making it a full-time career, such as bringing on some help. Some of the challenges are who to hire first, what to prioritize, what do I need help most. When we had this conversation a year and a half ago, I probably needed most of the help editing. because that took so much time. Now it doesn't take quite as much time. But so now I think I need help in far as maybe cinematography and how to shoot the videos differently or better, because that's not my expertise. I'm I'm just turned on the camera and just still figuring things out. So I think I could use some help in that area to maybe improve the quality. I still love the quality of my videos, but I always think I could be better. So trying to figure out the next step, the next progression, who to hire first, what to prioritize, because there's a few things I probably could use some help on, and trying to figure that out is a challenge that I'm kind of facing, especially with the rapid growth. Also with, and I don't know if you, I think you may have mentioned this in one of your videos, Brock, about talking about the business of YouTube is as far as what brands to get help to you take on, what sponsorships to take on, which ones not to take on. Those are some challenges as well. I say no way more than I say yes, which is I think is a good idea. But to go full time, there's some challenges to trying to figure out. So that's what I'm kind of fishing my way through now, is what's the next step, what to do next. I'm fully committed now. The 5-year plan turned to a 10-year plan. So now it's kind of trying to figure it. I can see myself doing this until it's time to retire. I could see myself doing this another, and for me, retirement is a little closer than you guys. So uh, maybe at least another 5 to 10 years easily, and figuring out different ways to maybe always have the YouTube channel, but trying to be forward thinking, and maybe businesses branching off of the YouTube channel. I have some product ideas that I have for myself that I'm trying to research, and that in itself is a challenge as well. Maybe starting a clothing line or a beard care line or something along those lines. Those are businesses I haven't done before, so um, thinking about white label, private label, starting my own, taking on investors. It's a very interesting time. I've had anecdotally, I've had a couple people email me out of blue wanting to invest in the YouTube channel and invest in the Stylogy brand. I'm like, whoa, 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 this is going a little too fast.
It's exciting though.
And how do you place a value? I started thinking about Shark Tank. Okay, so somebody even said they wanted 2%. How do I figure out how much 2% is worth? So it's a lot. It's very, very exciting. These are all great problems to have, and just kind of getting through it is the next challenge and the next step.
Yeah, that is really exciting. I think we're like still totally in the wild west of this sort of business. So there's so many different paths you can take. And, it's like you see some channels like just building digital media empires, where it's all content and they're making 8-9 figures, and then you have other channels like, our friend Raphael, Gentleman's Gazette, is a great example where they have a product line that their channel basically supports. And so I think there's so many different ways you can go. But I will say that as, we've worked with you at Peter Manning on sponsored stuff, and, we're coming back for another package with you because we were really happy with it. So I think you have a brand that you'll never, struggle to get high quality sponsors.
People like Raphael and even Jose, who I work with a lot with Essentials, is, I'm kind of aware that we don't own YouTube. It's a platform, and it can be taken any day. And so I always watched Think Media when I was thinking about starting the channel, and I always remember the tagline: "Build your influence to build your income." So a lot of what I wanted to do, first the most important thing about the channel is to share lifestyle advice with other men, specifically younger men, but also in terms of building a business. The challenge of knowing how to convert that audience and own some of that audience. I don't have an email list, which I should. There's a lot of things that if I got a couple copyright strikes over the next couple of weeks and they took my channel, I'm kind of stuck. So I'm probably too invested business-wise, from a strictly business sense. I'm too heavily invested in the YouTube basket. I need to probably I've watched Brock do this more, maybe over the last year, a lot more on Instagram. My Instagram game sucks because me doing so much content, I just can't do both. I still have my chiropractic practice. I'm doing YouTube. Instagram had to suffer. So one of the things I'm actually in the works of doing, and as we're talking about, I've kind of really decided that my next hire will be a photographer slash videographer for a couple of reasons. One, to help me do Instagram. I'm not a photographer by nature. I'll just stand in front of the camera and probably take the same pose every time. So I want to get a photographer, but at the same time, I want them to be able to help me with filming of the video. So whoever I hire for photography, it's going to serve a couple of purposes. One, to grow Instagram. Two, to improve the YouTube. And also, I want to be able to even highlight products better. So I want someone who has a photography knowledge base on how to shoot products, how to highlight a product in the video, so I can do even better job. Like I've been fortunate that just like Peter Manning's coming back, I had my sponsors have been pretty happy with the product that I deliver and the way I think I do a good job of organically connecting the topic of the video with the sponsor's product. But I would like to do a better job of highlighting the product when I'm not doing a lookbook. One of the reasons why I work so well with Peter Manning, because it's a clothing item. It's something that fits me well, so it's easy to demonstrate. Like we did one video about how long your trousers should be. So that's an easy video for me to do. All I have to do is put the trousers on and show that they fit well, and tie it into the topic of the video. It makes a lot of sense because Peter Manning makes clothes for not so tall guys. I have shorter legs. They fit me well off the rack. I don't have to get them tailored. So it makes so much sense. But say, for example, if I do a sponsorship with someone like Beckett Seminon where I want to show off the shoes, and besides me just doing a shot of, the leg below, I want to kind of learn, have someone help me kind of do vanity shots for the product in an effort not only to make those videos for brands like Beckett Seminon that I work with a lot better, but most of the people discover me, sponsors discover me by watching other sponsored videos. So if I can improve the way I highlight the products I'm already working with, not only do I do a better job for my sponsors, but it's a walking billboard for potential sponsors. And so that will be my next hire, probably in the next month or two. I'm going to start looking for someone, and they have to have those three abilities to help me with my Instagram, to shoot my YouTube videos better, and to shoot the products and highlight the products better.
Yeah, I think that's when you look at some of the channels that are really putting out like high quality content. One Dapper Street, He Spoke Style. There's a partner there, and there's another guy behind the scenes who's doing a lot of the actual production, and they have like really professional chops. So I think that would be a great hire.
Alex was doing that as well.
Yeah.
If we just could get Carl Morawski to just come be with us each of our channels.
Yeah.
There you go. I tried to have family members and stuff like they lose interest pretty quick. They lose pretty interest quickly after maybe 1 or 2 Instagram shots.
Yeah. You need somebody who's into it,
Right. And I feel guilty because I don't know if you guys do this, but I find myself talking about the channel way too much to my friends and family. And I realize, and even if I don't mean to, I may be excited about a new deal. I may be excited about these nice shoes that, because Great sends me a lot of sneakers. So look at these, and I can see my friend's eyes like glazing over, like, oh, wow, that's exciting. Yeah, 500 pair of shoes. Woo! Yeah. So I think too, just hiring a photographer or a videographer, just have someone who's actually interested, and maybe even bring, a lot of the successes I've had in other businesses is because collaborative. My former business partner, my old chiropractic practice, we bounced these ideas off of each other. We filled in holes. We were able to see things from a different perspective. And I know you guys probably dealt with this too. It can be kind of an isolating thing doing YouTube. Even when you have help, it's kind of I'm talking to you guys now. I'm sitting in front of my laptop where I do all my editing and answering emails and stuff. And in my current setup now in my apartment, the studio is the second bedroom. So I spend an inordinate amount of time in my apartment by myself. Probably mentally unhealthy amount of time. So it's a different animal for sure.
That's one of the reasons we love doing this podcast, is because we get to talk shop with people, and it is a very it's a one-man show a lot of the time, so it's fun to just talk on the phone and catch up. And a lot of times we joke that half of this podcast is just like, it's like us talking on the phone with each other, or someone like you, and we just happen to be recording it.
There you go. Yeah, it's important. I've made a lot of acquaintances and friends doing this, and It's fun to talk to other guys just because they actually want to talk about this stuff. Like my regular friends, Jeff, we know you like style. We know we've been knowing you. Can we not talk about that? They want to talk about sports and women and movies, and I'm talking about double monk straps and some chinos and stuff.
Thumbnail creation.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All that good stuff. So it's funny. I think I even find myself on the phone for a long time talking to brands just because I'm excited to talk about anything that's style related. So a lot of brands, I think sometimes they work with me because they can feel the excitement and interesting because I take interest in their business because a lot of the business that reach out there, no small businesses starting out, they have a passion, they have a dream. So just hearing what they're trying to do, whether they can afford to work with me or we can work something out. Just hearing their stories sometimes. A couple of them have got me to work with them just because I love the story and I cut them a deal, cut them a break, So just because I think too, because of being a serial entrepreneur, I kind of have a soft spot for sometimes brands starting out. So
Totally. Well, what would you at this point, now that you're, a big channel, what would you tell somebody who's just starting out or somebody who's been at it for a little while but isn't seeing much growth?
well, there's a couple of things, and I have a friend who will go nameless, a very good friend of mine, that I'm constantly on him about consistency. Um, I wouldn't say you have to be daily like I started out, but you have to kind of play the game and take some ego out of it, which I think I was able to do in the beginning. Because there were a lot of topics I wanted to talk about, but I didn't talk about because they were just things Jeff wanted to talk about. What I decided was, what is my purpose? If your purpose to do this is just self expression, then talk about anything you want. It doesn't matter how many subscribers or how many people watch because your goal is different. My goal was to share the information, but I also wanted to grow a following. I also wanted to grow a business. So I had to be strategic and start out. And I suggest anyone who's starting out, or even someone who's not having as much success as they would like, do things that are SEO friendly, period. Still, 75 to 85% of my videos are how to do this, how to do that. It's SEO friendly. And I'll give guys a perfect example. One of my videos that's kind of almost carrying my channel right now that sparked a lot of recent growth. There's one video, and I had a little bit of knowledge base, and this is about how and where to apply cologne. I did that video a month into the channel. It gets 5,000 views a day
Hmm.
because I specifically said I'm going to do something. All my videos in the beginning are going to be SEO friendly. No one knows who Jeff from Philadelphia is. I'm not a celebrity. You don't know me, but my strategy was talk about a topic. Think about the fact that YouTube is the second biggest search engine, and it's owned by the biggest search engine. So, what's going to drive traffic? People doing searches. So I suggested people and to follow my blueprint. Do it until you get to a point where you're successful, and maybe if you have a stronger personality. I wasn't very confident that I was going to convert people to watching me based on my personality only because of I guess maybe my self identity of being introverted. And watching Aaron, I knew I wasn't that lively and engaging. So my strategy was get as many people to watch a video as I could, and some would stick around. They would come for the information. I would make sure the information was good and I provided value, and they would stick around because they liked me and liked how I presented it, and they would come back. So that strategy is still working for me today. And a second example, there's another video that's piggybacking on that one. I have a second video. It's called Cologne Hacks: How to Make Your Cologne Last Longer. That video is maybe 22 months old. It gets 3,000 views a day. So I have many examples of those type of videos that have grown my channel. So the keys, I think, for a lot of people's success, unless you're just a very engaging person, and in all frankness, if your channel isn't growing, you're probably not a super engaging person. You have to be realistic. Do SEO friendly topics. Do them consistently. The algorithm favors you putting out 3 videos a week. When you become as successful as Brock and people like that, you don't have to do as much content.
I'm just lazy.
That's fine too. But to me, lazy is only when you're not doing something you have to
Right.
do.
Yeah.
That's what really laziness is. So once, and my theory is this, I don't know if it's backed up by the numbers or science. I think once you have consistent growth and you keep feeding the machine, you have to do something pretty stupid or terrible to go in the other direction. So I would suggest consistency, consistency, consistency. Don't worry about quality because quality would get better by you being consistent. It would automatically get better. The video I keep referencing in this conversation, how to wear and apply cologne, the audio is terrible. I just started using the lapel mic. That was my first lapel mic video. It's rubbing on the inside of my suit, and people are still watching it. Not that many people even calling out the bad audio. Maybe 1 out of 10 comments is about the audio. I can't even watch the video. The audio is so terrible. That was my first month of doing it. But let's say maybe a month ago, it was my 10th most successful video. Now it's my 3rd most successful video. In just a matter of in a month, it's gained 40,000 views for a 2-year-old video because it's search engine friendly. It's not a good video. I'm boring on the video. I'm nervous. Even my friend told me, she watched, she's like, you seem pretty nervous on that one. You could tell you were starting. But it's SEO friendly. So be consistent, and do things that are SEO friendly until you develop a bond with the audience, until the audience is engaged and is there for you. And then you can take more risks. You can do things differently. I'm going to do some things fairly differently in the 3rd quarter of this year, starting in summertime. I can take those risks because I've built up the trust of the audience. That was another reason why I did 500 videos before I even make any significant. Sometimes I'm tired of the great background and me talking. But I also always try to remember that 75% of the people that watch every video have never seen any of your other videos before. So even if your audience is tired of that, your audience doesn't watch your videos. New people watch all of your videos. So although I'm tired of that, you sometimes can have a fear, how much should you change? But because I built up the trust of the audience, and I think I have the trust of the YouTube algorithm now, I'm going to make some changes. But one of the things I also would suggest to guys and young ladies that are trying this, one of the things that you don't want to do is not provide value. So for every video, I'm still going to remind myself to make sure it doesn't become a vanity thing, that I'm just shooting stuff that I want and I'm going to get angles that make me look sexy. I got to make sure that I'm still telling guys how and where to apply cologne. It may look better, it may be shot better, but you have to provide value because I'm definitely afraid of starting to shoot things that look so great, but I'm still not telling you the 10 best pair of sneakers to buy because they're affordable and they have great value. So I think as long as you provide value and try to do it in an entertaining way, I think it'll work. But consistency, and provide value and do things that YouTube wants. It's YouTube's platform. They want videos that people are going to look for, and they're going to keep them on YouTube long. So think about that.
Yeah, it's good advice. Well, I don't know if
I can start doing a lot more stuff like John from Cavalier and all these far-reaching brands. These brands I never heard of. I can always count on John to give me stuff brands I've never heard of yet.
Yeah, there's no shortage of content ideas, especially if you follow the channels.
I actually have a video planned for June that I'm stealing one of his concepts. So I'm letting you know right now. The thumbnail might even look a lot like one of your thumbnails. I'm just letting you know right now.
Oh no.
You see that a lot. Honestly, I think it's fine. People kind of borrowing from each other and making homage videos, or I mean, even just taking the same topic or same thumbnail. I don't know. I think people get kind of upset about it, but it's fine. It's like still like an artist,
To me, it makes, I'm a very analytical person. It makes no sense. Let's say, for example, let's take Jose, for example. Say he did a video and he got 1 million views. Well, there's still 5.9 billion people that did not see that video. So, right. And they didn't see it from your perspective. So I think it's easy to get caught up in this. Oh, Jose did that video, or Aaron did that video. Yeah, but think about the 6 billion other people on YouTube that did not watch that video.
Well, plus
information from you.
Plus the people that watched that and liked it, they probably want to watch that same video again, like from a different perspective.
Yeah, and YouTube wants you to make that video if it's successful. YouTube is going to promote it because they suggested videos and stuff like so. And I think too that we're talking about clothes and shoes. How many different ways can you talk about clothes? How many different topics are you going to come up with? I've been surprised that I've been able to come up with 500 topics. I think it's just something that I've naturally been able to do without really struggling much. But there were times where I tell people, I'll go look at one of your guys' channels and see which one of your videos got the most views. I'll look at your video on that topic. I like that. I think I can add my own perspective. I've done that from everybody's channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I'm sure, and I've had people tell me, Jose just did the video you did. You should talk to him. He stole your concept. I'm like, that's okay. I've stolen videos from him too.
My favorite example of that was Gentleman's Gazette did a video on, I think it was it was something about a watch, and somebody commented, "Oh, now you're copying Theo and Harris." And Raphael responded to that thing. He goes, "Had to look up who Theo and Harris was. This video has been done for months." Like,
right.
That was the perfect
Right.
Raphael response.
Well, I tell you, and it's part of my personality, I am not the guy to say something smart to, because I live for sarcastic responses. So I had a guy say, you're just copying Jose. I said, nah, he's a lot taller and better looking and younger than me. But I'm trying. And it's funny, I'll respond to a lot of guys, and I'm good with it. Your mama joke, or your girlfriend likes it, and they become subscribers. They love it. I play in the comment section all the time. I think it's one of the advantages of being an older guy and somebody who comes off a little authoritative and kind of confident. People I don't get many trolls or many negative comments, but the ones I do, I double down and I get very sarcastic. But everybody, they tend to like it. And when I make a great joke, they subscribe. They subscribe.
Nice.
So it's fun. I always find the fun in things. I think too, one of the advantages of being older, and maybe it's my personality, what other people say never really bothers me that much, especially a stranger behind the keyboard. It's not going to really bother me. And I'm quick to tell them every engagement is positive. Hit the dislike button. Hit the dislike button on your way out.
Just keep watching all the way through. Get that watch time.
I actually thought I was going to have to come down to Influential and defend Brock's honor at one time with that stuff with Allen stuff.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah.
You know what's funny? I was waiting. I said, please, I hope he says something about me. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I just wanted him to say something.
Not controversial enough. Yeah. Well, I mean, definitely any press is good press. And it seems like even the videos that get some more dislikes or more of like an uneven ratio, I guess, do better. Because YouTube is like, oh, this is controversial. Like, show it to more people, so.
It's engagement, and I think it's hard to be controversial in our niche, man. How controversial you can be talking about the best chinos under $100. I mean, it's not going to be, but so controversial. So I actually was in a kind of maybe demented way, was jealous that he picked on you, because I was the guy in high school that always did. I was the guy who was able to kind of dabble in all social circles. I was the closet nerd, but the athlete, and still got all the girls. So I always defended the guy that got picked on. It's like, man, I wanted to come to Influential. Unfortunately, I couldn't come, just to be there, and I wanted to see what happened. I was like, because you could tell he was trolling. He was doing it. He was really nitpicking. He was not saying it's sponsored because you received free stuff. I think he found success in picking on Jose and Aaron, and recently Ben. He really picked on Ben a lot, where I thought he did have some valid criticisms of Ben, which I mentioned in one of my videos, but he went overboard with it. And I think he just said, okay, that worked. Let me find somebody else. Okay, here's this Brock guy. And he's saying not sponsored, and he made it seem like you were castigating Aaron and Jose and the other guys. Right. It was very unfair in the way that he did it, but he didn't pick on the right one.
All you had to do, Jeff, was jump into his comments, because that's what ended up getting Brock in trouble. Was he left a pretty innocuous comment?
Yeah, I left a comment on his Ben video, defending Ben a little bit, because we've had Ben on the show, and I consider him a friend, and that's what got me on the blacklist. So
I watched the whole thing. I watched the whole thing. I saw the whole thing play out. I think, like I said, I thought Allen had some valid criticisms of the way Ben positioned his video, which I delineated in my video, but he went overboard. It became bullying. To be honest, I thought it was bullying to him and to you. Actually, I found it to be bullying. So.
Yeah, I mean, I think like building a channel off of, call it YouTube drama or like any sort of negativity, is a solid strategy. It works. There's a lot of channels that are just built off of like drama, like putting bigger YouTubers in the thumbnail. You're always going to get a click. But I think long term, for me at least, I feel better about trying to stay away from the negativity and the drama, and just trying to be positive when possible.
And also too, if looking at it from a businessman's perspective, how successful and how many brands are going to work with you if you're the overall positioning of your channel is negativity or tearing someone else down. And you know, I watch a lot of YouTube, probably more than the average 40-something-year-old should, but I see a lot of channels that grow that I see why they're growing, but they're not sustainable business models. For example, like we said, negative channels, and secondly, reaction channels, things of that nature, where your whole business model is around someone else's content. So, and here's advice I'll give guys too that I purposely did before I got on the channel: no politics, no religion, um, no gender stuff, and no cursing, and that's a challenge for me. I love four-letter words are my favorite words, so I had to cut a lot of because I said to myself, I want to create a brand. Um, I know that I'll be able with growth. I want to be able to have all types of brands work with me, and also you have to know yourself. If I start talking about religion and politics and relationships, I'm going to say something I shouldn't say because I'm a very opinionated person. I have strong opinions in all of those areas. So I'm going to say something I probably shouldn't say in the public square. So those are areas, and I won't ever show my family at all because you have to know your soft spot. You can say whatever you want about me. If you say something about my kids, or I'm going to get your IP address and come to your house. So
Yeah.
you can talk about me, that doesn't bother me. But if I brought my kid on here, or if I brought my family member, so you kind of have to know yourself. And also, if you're looking to build a brand, I want every brand to be able to work with me, whether it's Disney, whether it's Adam and Eve, or anybody in between. I want to be able to. And also later on, I have, like we talked earlier, I have designs of having a clothing line or a shoe line and things. And I don't want people to be able to go back 6 years later and I was having this big religious discussion that turns them off, things of that nature. If I want to talk about that stuff, I thought about starting a second YouTube channel just to have conversation, or maybe a podcast. That's a different arena. But when we're dealing with the styleology, I want every style and lifestyle brand to be comfortable working with me. So I would advise guys to keep that in mind too. Like I said, I started watching Alan a couple years ago because I thought it was funny when he was attacking Jose and Antonio. He had some good jokes, but all the cursing and stuff, I said, he'll never, how he's going to be able to build a business or have brands support him, he'll never be able to do this. I'm enjoying it, but it's not something I'm going to come back and watch. It doesn't provide any value, and it doesn't provide value from a brand unless it's going to be his own brand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I follow the exact same guidelines, like no religion, no politics, like no cursing, and it's just better that way to have those like hard and fast rules, because then it's easy. You just never get into it. Because I think a lot of people these days, they think that if you have a platform, it's almost like your responsibility to use that platform to like weigh in on issues, which I like totally disagree with. Like your platform, if we're talking about men's style or improving your self development by way of dressing better, like there's no responsibility to weigh in on who you voted for.
Right, right. And I don't think there's an upside to it, especially in today's climate where we're so politically, there's so much, black and white in it. There's no nuance. When I grew up back in the old days, in the 80s and the 90s, there was nuance to politics and conversation. So it's difficult to have those conversations without, pissing off 50% of the audience. It's just impossible. And then I'm tempted. I have these conversations all the time with friends and family. I love having religious and political conversations, but I feel no responsibility to weigh on them on the Stylogy channel. My responsibility is to teach guys how to dress better, to be groomed better, and date better. That's my only responsibility, and do it in a way that grows them as people and grows my business. That's my responsibility, and for me to have fun doing it. Those are my own responsibilities. We have the Jeff's political religion YouTube channel. We'll talk about that stuff there.
Yeah, very true. So, Jeff, we're going to hit you with our rapid fire questions. But first, you were talking about moving down to Atlanta. What's your status there?
For a lot of family reasons, I postponed that, but not permanently. That is my goal. I'm actually going to have some family members moving there as well. So that's kind of another reason to move there. That is my ultimate goal. But due to some family stuff that's happened over the last year, life has gotten in the way. I'm definitely still going to move to Atlanta. I just had to postpone it. So I've been in Philly many, many years. I'm just going to have to stay home for a little while longer. But I am still, that's going to be the eventual headquarters for the Stylogy will be Atlanta. It's just probably going to be in another year or two.
Yeah, because remember you were saying essentially that was your way of like cutting, like jumping into the deep end was to make that big change.
Right. That was a way of forcing myself to do it. But I'm an oldest child, so there's, I have feel a sense of obligation, family obligations, and things of that nature. So I've had some personal things that have made it more difficult for me to relinquish those oldest child obligations. Some of them are self-imposed. If I was going to be honest, there's a certain responsibility. No one's putting that on me. It's something I kind of put on myself. But yeah, that's definitely the long range plan. Real estate prices are better down there too, in the weather.
Definitely feel you there. All right, so our rapid fire questions. I can't remember if we had asked you these last time, but if we did, we could compare your answers, see how they might have changed.
Sure.
All right, so Oxfords or Brogues?
Brogues.
Morning shower or evening shower?
Evening.
Your favorite Bond actor?
I feel blasphemous saying not one of the old school guys. Daniel Craig.
He's the man. Coming up on 25.
I hate not saying Sean Connery because he's one of my style. But the newer movies were just better.
Oh, yeah. So cardio or lifting?
Oh, that's a tough one because I enjoy both a lot. I'll go lifting because it's more effective in a lot of ways. It's beneficial in more ways than cardio.
That's good. I feel like cardio gets a lot of hate, even in our questions here.
No, cardio is very important. I just think that weightlifting has many more positive results than cardio, but they're both very necessary, and I do both every day.
Of course.
Heard it from Dr. Morgan.
Yes.
What's that?
I heard it from Dr. Morgan.
Yeah, and stay tuned soon for the Dr. Morgan YouTube channel coming soon to a home feed near you.
Diversify.
Yeah, I forgot to mention that's in the plans as well.
Oh, very nice.
Cool.
Yeah, the second channel is going to be health based, answering a lot of questions that I don't get to talk about, and it's a way for me to still, if I do give up my practice, to still engage in healthcare and share those topics. So that's something I'm working on too.
Yeah, I think you mentioned last time you wanted to cover more of that stuff because it's very important to you. Okay, chinos, jeans, or trousers?
Over the last couple of years, it's become chinos, and I'm a chino lover now, man. It's just that perfect middle line, and especially with more and more people dressing more casually, it's a way to me to still be kind of smart casual without putting on a pair of my suit trousers. So chinos, that's easy win right there. Chinos kills.
Loafers or sneakers?
Oh, that's a hard one too. Sneakers.
Navy or charcoal suit?
For me, navy.
And if you're getting into the shower and you want to like pump yourself up for a big day, what's the song you're playing?
Oh, that's cute. What's My Name, DMX?
All right.
Is this so ultra aggressive? You come out here want to hurt somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
We survived rapid fire. Very nice.
Thank you.
Well, that's exciting. So, we talked about what you've been up to and kind of what you're looking forward to. Like, what is the thing you're most looking forward to in the next 12 months?
The thing I'm looking most forward is the improvement in the quality of my videos. I didn't mention this, but one of the things and strategy that I had to start in the channel was to put out a lot of quantity, kind of striking a balance between quality and quantity. I'm going to kind of shift that ratio a bit more towards the quality angle. I'll tell you guys here first, and starting in the third quarter, I'm not going to do daily content anymore. I'm not even going to mention I'm doing daily content. I'm going to switch to Friday, Saturday, and Sundays for a few reasons. One, to improve the quality. I'm going to make longer form videos so I can be a little bit more chatty, and also the algorithm favors longer videos. But filming Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and taking a couple of days to edit, and really taking my time. And I think there's going to be a learning curve for me with me trying to change the format a little bit and having help in someone else's eye. So I think reducing the amount of videos will help me with that personal learning curve, but also kind of reminding myself to still provide the value And like we mentioned earlier, I want to make sure I don't go into the slick trying to be as pretty, because I don't want to change what got me. I'm not satisfied with the quality of my video. People, I get never getting complaints with them. I'm just not personally satisfied. But I don't want to lose the audience that loves the way I do things now. So I want to keep the DNA of the channel, but just maybe improve the cinematography. So I'm excited about. It'll be a little bit of break for me to do 3 videos a week. I probably do minimum 5 now. So do longer form, but better shot videos, but still remain having the DNA. I'm very, very, very excited about the changes and improvement, and seeing after 2 years of success where the next next year is going to take me. I'm beyond excited. I sometimes can't sleep because I'm so excited. I have so many ideas. I have so many things that I want to do with the channel. And people always ask me, aren't you going to run out of ideas? You would be surprised. I have right here notebooks full of ideas. I don't run out of ideas, because when you're doing something that's your passion, you don't run out of ideas. Like this book, I can't show you what's in it, but these are like the 3 brands I'm going to create in the next 3 years. I have like brands that I already have the names for them. I already know I have the models for them, the names of them, all that stuff. So I have a lot of things that I'm very excited about it, but the main thing is just to improve the quality of the visuals of my channel, but still remain true to what's built up the audience, continues to build the audiences, and which I believe I deliver some good content in an authoritative, confident way, but to do it in a way that's a little prettier.
Nice. We'll have to catch up with you in a year and see where you're at.
Oh, definitely. Hopefully by then, maybe I can catch up to the Modest Man and subscribers. I'm trying, but every time I get somewhere, he gets a little further.
Hey, at this rate, man, I think you might.
Well, not if you get back to posting more consistently, I won't catch you.
Yeah.
If I consistently posting less videos.
I've been doing some behind the scenes stuff with training up a couple editors and getting some writers and stuff. So I should be back on a schedule pretty soon. But I had to get back. See, for me, what happened is I got so deep into YouTube that I let my website slip. And my website, like, people don't know this because, it's not as flashy as YouTube or Instagram, but like my website is the bread and butter of the business. And
I wanted to ask you about that, because I haven't done anything to my website in a year. I have a website, but I never touch it. But I'm always wondering, what am I leaving on the table by not utilizing my website? What is the value in having the website?
I mean, so like when you talk about like YouTube being the second biggest search engine, Google's number 1. So what most of when you type something into Google, hit enter, most of that page, that search results page, is written content.
It's not video or images. It's the all.
It's yeah, and they'll show you a few videos now, but if you have a video and an article on the topic, well, then you can dominate. So for me, the website is more important for traffic, and it's also easier to monetize without just doing sponsorships. So you can monetize it with affiliate links and ads and stuff that you can do on YouTube, but it's just not as effective. So I'm very happy to be getting back to my focus on the website, and I'm okay with YouTube slowing down in exchange for that.
Let me ask you advice on something. So with me freeing up some of my time with doing less videos in the summer, would you suggest I dedicate some time to, when I do a video, write an article? Do you think that's something that would really help me as far as in growth? And also, my affiliate performance is just okay. For the audience that I have, I thought my affiliate revenue would be way bigger than what it is. It grows very slowly. So I was thinking using the website may be a way to improve my revenue. So would you suggest using some of that time to have an article that ties into the video, like I see you do and a lot of other guys do?
Yeah, I mean, given that you're already writing out your scripts, you already have the article. So I would 100% be publishing those as articles with the video embedded. And then I'll send you a link. I wrote a little article on page SEO, just basic on page SEO for blog posts. Just do those and you're going to start seeing traffic.
Because I noticed just watching some of your other guys, like even Brian from He Spoke Style, yourself, and Raphael, even if I'm Googling, I'll see stuff from Brian just from his website, even though that's how I became familiar with the YouTube channel. Even though his YouTube channel is a little smaller than some guys, I was like, wow, this guy has some nice stuff, and it brought me there. And I always thought that that was one of the things that kind of helped Raphael grow, just watching from a distance. A lot of times, him and Antonio, if I type in a topic, if I'm doing research for one of my videos, a lot of times I get information from Antonio and Raphael's websites. They have a market corner. So I've always thinking, am I missing the boat by not having some more usage of my website?
Yeah, dude, you should get on it. I mean, John's got his site now, and you're starting to see some activity, right, John?
Yeah, that's been a big focus for me, and it's definitely starting to pay off. I mean, it takes some months to really get it rolling, and then once it does, then yeah, it's very powerful.
So what's your what are you excited about in the coming months, John? I've seen you've had some growth recently too. I'm a stalker. I watch everybody's channel. So if you have a jump in subscribers, Jeff knows. I watch everybody. So I noticed you've had some pretty good growth over the last month or two. What do you attribute it to? Can you attribute it to? And what are you excited about doing in the next 3 months or so?
Well, now I'm not going to sleep as well, knowing that Jeff's always watching.
Trust me, I watch all you guys all the time. I know I'm kind of OCD with it. So I'm a numbers guy, so I just love numbers. I've always had since I was a kid. So I know that you have about 73,000 subscribers. I know exactly. So,
yeah.
Nice.
Well, in a big way, the video that I did on the decline of clothing quality, that kind of elevated the whole channel for about
I love
a
those
week.
videos. Those are my favorite by you. Like the J. Crew one yesterday or day before.
Yeah.
I'm a J. Crew Ludlow guy all day, so that hit me right in the sweet spot.
Yeah.
I love doing those videos too, and I have a few of them in the works. But that one video in particular, it got posted on Reddit and it had a big spike. But then over the weekend, YouTube just really picked it up, and so like I saw traffic on all my videos rise that weekend, and so that really drove a lot of subscribers. Part of this year, my whole thing has been to do more similar to you, where it's like, look, I did all these videos for so long with a certain style, and now moving to like, okay, if I'm going to do a guide on no-show socks, I'm going to go out with a photographer, get B-roll footage, get photos for eventual blog posts and Instagram that also feed into the video, and then all of that kind of ties together. Getting better about, like when I did my sneaker roundup, I said in the video that my blog post was available, but I still haven't finished the blog post. And so like getting better about having those, because the sneaker blog post on my site gets just as much monthly views and traffic as the video. So I'm not only am I bringing people to the blog from the video, but I'm also getting a lot of organic SEO traffic from that. And so spending more time, if I'm going to work on, like right now I'm working on a performance chino roundup, it's like, okay, as I'm doing this, I'm also developing the blog post because I can post at the same time as a video, versus before I was like running and gunning, just trying to edit it and post it by the middle of the day. And so being a little more thoughtful about what I'm doing, and I'm also trying to turn down the number of videos, but I can't seem to like slow myself down. I have this like constant urge just to keep editing and posting.
Well, to me, for me, it's a little bit of FOMO. Like if I don't do another video, is my momentum going to stop? I tell people to do video every day, so I got to keep doing it. And for myself, like I said, I get a little OCD with it. So I love just watching what video performs, what doesn't. So every video is a chance to learn, to see what I'm doing well, what I'm doing not well. And one of the things I'm going to start doing, I don't know if you guys have tried this, but something I'm going to do more of. And I was successful in doing it. I did a video when I first started the channel about how to wear Stan Smiths. Terrible video, but it did decent. I just remade the video. So there's a couple of videos that I've done. Like this fall, one of my most popular videos is how to wear Timberland boots. The video's okay, but I think with me doing longer form, I'm going to do more outfits. I can show myself doing them in different settings. Maybe that video may have had 3 looks. I'll do one with 7 or 8 looks. It's my 3rd most successful video. So why not do that video again, but better, longer, and they'll feed each other. So what I'll do is, that one's called How to Wear Timberlands. This one will be How to Wear Timberlands 2019. They'll feed each other. At first I was afraid to repeat, because I've had a guy, when you first start, you pay attention to everything, all the negative comments. So one guy said, he's run out of topics. He did that before. It wasn't a topic I had done before. I don't know why he said that, but it made me afraid to repeat. now I'm saying I'm going to start repeating some of my most popular videos, do the same exact video, but longer, better, and with more looks. Like, for example, the Timberland boot video, even with us coming out in winter, still gets 300 views a day. So if I do a new version, better version, longer version, more confident Jeff version, that's a whole new area to just repeat your successful videos, but do them better. And my strategy was, if I'm going to repeat a video that John did or Brock did that was successful, why not repeat a video that I did that was successful? So that's going to be my strategy here. I'm going to do a lot of videos like that starting in the fall. Like I'm going to do my Stan Smith video. I mean, I'm not going to do that one because I did it twice, but I'll do Adidas Superstar video again. I'll do one of the things I'm going to do, and I'm doing it with Brock. I'm going to do I did a Harrington video before, but just okay.
Mm-hmm.
Only had a couple of looks. So with Peter Mann, I'm going to do a Harrington video, but this one is going to be better. It's going to be, I had just started wearing Harrington jackets when I did the video last year. So now I've worn them more. I have more ideas. The video did okay. But to do how to wear Harrington videos 2019 or spring 2019, for one, it'll be search engine friendly because it's new. It'll be better. And it'll give people that watch my old Harrington video more ideas on how to wear a Harrington jacket. So when I did the first Adidas Stan Smith video I did got 10,000 views. I said, if I do another one, nobody's going to watch it. The second one has 100,000. Same video, just a better one. And they both get views. So actually, the Harrington video I'm going to do with Peter Mann is going to be more successful than the first one. To me, it's almost like I've proven the concept with the first Harrington jacket video. And now this one is going to be bigger. It's going to be better, more looks. So that's something I'm not sure if a lot of people do that. Like exactly, they may do a variation. I'm going to repeat exact videos that I've done that have been successful. Because I've done it once and it worked so well that that's when I'm gonna start doing that. Just doing bigger, better, and just because you can't run out of it. If people are looking at a video for outfit inspiration, and now you give them 7 more looks, they're not gonna say, "Oh man, you gave me 3. I don't want 7 more looks on how to wear the Harrington jacket." They're gonna welcome it, especially if they like the first one. So that's one of my strategies. So I'm gonna pick some of my top videos and actually redo the video, but bigger and better, just as if I was doing a Cavalier video. But I said, I think I can do it differently or better. I'm going to critique my own video and see how I can do it better.
I'm writing down some ideas here. Maybe give me ideas.
You got to do it, man. You got to do it because this is something that actually just came to me this morning. I was doing my cardio this morning. I walk a lot. I live in the city, so there's a lot of nice housing and stuff to look at. I live not too far from the park, so I take a walk every morning. And I was thinking about, man, I haven't looked at everybody else's videos lately and see what's popular, see which videos actually see if I can improve. And it just struck me, why don't I improve my own video? So I said, you know what? I'm going to do in this fall, and I'm someone who's kind of obsessive. I have videos planned for May, June, July, some of August, some of September. I already have them written down. I actually typed in my Mac. So I said, I'm going to redo my own videos bigger and better. And I think it's a technique you guys maybe should try too. Just if there's videos that have been successful and you think you can expand upon them, especially a lookbook video. You can't do enough looks. Say you did trench coat before and you said, man, I could have worn my duck boots with that. Why didn't I think of that? Just add more looks, make it bigger. And I'm going to tell people, hey guys, I did that with the Stan Smith video. I told guys, man, I did the Stan Smith video before. Didn't really like it. It's a good video. I want you to watch it. You can laugh at me, but I think this one's going to be better, so I'm going to redo this. And the audience was very receptive, and a lot of them said, man, that video wasn't that bad, but this one is better. So I think I'm very excited about trying that. And I think it's a cheat code that I don't think people do. It's a cheat code. My Timberland video has almost 300,000 views. This one will do better. If I did 10 times better with the second Stan Smith video last year, imagine how much better I'll do with the Adidas Superstar video that I'm going to redo, and the Timberland video I'm going to redo. So I think it's a worthwhile thing. I suggest you guys try it. Steal your own material.
I'm going to do that. I got a couple videos they're still the most popular videos on my channel, and they're so old and so poorly done. Yeah, they're cringeworthy. Just like, and also just stuff that's
unminded. Think about it, and think about what I said earlier. Like, say if Jose did a video that 1 million people watch, 6 billion have watched. So your most popular video, on the grand scheme of things, nobody's watched it yet.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And those are the kinds of videos that bring new people to your channel. Like when a video goes like, semi-viral or whatever, gets 500,000 views, 1 million views.
Our version of viral.
Yeah, our version of viral. That's that's when you start seeing, you know, I mean, for my channel, I'd go from like maybe 200 subscribers a day to like 600, you know, like for an extended period of time, which is pretty cool.
That's
You
what
ride
happened
that
to me with
wave.
that cologne video recently. It was getting 300 views a day. For 2 weeks, it started getting 6,000 views a day out of nowhere. I don't know. The algorithm just falls in love with a certain video for some unknown reason, and it's still getting 5,000 views a day. I didn't. It's a terrible video. I wish I could do that video again. I actually may. Now that we're talking about it, I may redo that video.
Yeah.
And maybe add a couple of extra points that I didn't mention, and also tell the audience I did this video before. You guys loved it, but the audio was terrible, so I wanted to read. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do that.
Heard it here first.
You know,
That video.
You know, it's a format that does well for me so far too, that I'm going to keep doing, is the roundup. I've included both of you guys in roundup videos. I don't know if it's just the topics or the format or both, but those do well.
They do extremely well.
Yeah.
You mean as far as just mentioning other channels?
Well, I think people seeing other people they know in the thumbnail, but also it's like the topic of like the best wallet for 2019 or the best watch under 40 millimeters, you know, like the best, like I'm doing one about bags, like the best everyday carry bag.
Mention that on the Instagram, yeah.
Yeah, so like, you know, stuff like, and I'm trying to include like, you know, the same, like I have like a pool of like 20 guys, and I'll pick like 6 or 7 for each one.
Right.
And so far, it's been a winning formula, so I'm gonna keep doing those because they're also a little easier to produce.
Do you think maybe because, and I think my theory on that is, one, you get a confluence. Some people are just going to watch it because they see the thumbnail. They see John in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And I think the algorithm may favor just because I think we talked about this maybe a year and a half ago, trying to figure out a way to help each other grow, maybe by doing it. One of the things you can always do, and I've noticed this in other niches, you do similar topics around the same time. But the way you're doing, the way we've all done in the past when we've collaborated, is kind of the same topic, but us kind of working together. So I think that's I think to keep doing that is a great idea. I think it's a great idea. I'm looking forward to that video. I'm definitely looking forward to that one. But yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm going to redo that cologne video, man.
Well, we should let people go find our channels, watch some videos if you didn't get enough Jeff, John, and Brock here, because this has been excellent. Jeff, thanks for coming on.
Right, no problem, and thanks for having me. We'll do it again in another 18 months.
All right.
Sounds good.
Thank you for listening to the Buttoned Up Podcast, a collaboration between John Shanahan of The Cavalier and Brock McGough of Modest Man, and we will see you next week.